two huge NFL games this Saturday, both in the NFC, both with big playoff implications. Of course, I'm talking about Panthers, Buccaneers, and Seahawks, 49ers, both on ABC and ESPN National TV. I'm going to let you know the playoff scenarios, but more importantly, I've got free plays with analysis in both these Saturday NFL games for you right here, right now. Hi, this is Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, right back here on WagerTalk TV. Hope you're having a happy and prosperous 2026, and we head into the final week of the NFL regular season. And we have two big games here on Saturday. You know, it's a flex schedule, and the NFL could pick the two Saturday games, the Sunday night game, and of course they're moving the games at 1 o'clock and 4:25 Eastern on Sunday as well due to playoff implications. You also notice we have all divisional matchups. I think the NFL got this right, by the way, this season with all these late divisional games, the flex schedule, and we have two good ones here on Saturday. Let's start with the 4:30 Eastern game on ESPN and ABC, and this is for the basically the NFC South title, but not exactly. I'll explain that in a moment. Carolina Panthers, Tampa Bay Bucks. You know, we thought it was going to be winners in, losers out for the number 4 seed. The division title is the only way either one of these teams is making the playoffs. That is still true. However, Carolina does not have to win this game now. It's crazy. The Atlanta Falcons, by beating the Rams last Monday night, this could end up being a 3-way tie in the division at 8-9, 8-9, and 8-9. So here's how it works. Tampa Bay has to win to get in. If Carolina wins, they're the 4 seed, they win the division. But now that Atlanta could still end up 8-9 by beating the Saints on Sunday, if there's a 3-way tie, Carolina loses this game, drops to 8-9. Falcons win to go to 8-9. No, Atlanta's out of it, but the 3-way tie goes to Carolina due to a 3-1 head-to-head record. Pretty crazy here. So yes, Panthers have a much better chance now of making the postseason when they're in, or if they lose and Atlanta wins on Sunday, they still get in. So Tampa's a little bit up against it, but both these teams are obviously going to play hard. They're going to play as if it was a must-win situation. And the first thing I want to do with this game, since it's a divisional game, means we get to look at that first meeting a few weeks ago in which it was a win for Carolina narrowly at home, 23-20. And that game had a lot of field goals in it. That's the first thing that jumps out to me as I'm reviewing that game. We had 5 field goals in that game. Both teams moved the ball okay offensively. Not a lot of yards. Both had under 300 yards of offense. But they did leave some points off the board and still got to 43. And the current total in this game now, the rematch, is 43.5-44. So I do like the over in this one. I think it might go down to the wire. Again, these are two not bad. They're two below average teams. The only reason either one's going to make the playoffs is because they play in a terrible division, which one of them is likely going to win. However, I do think both offenses hold the edge in this game. And another thing that's interesting about that meeting a few weeks ago is that Bryce Young had a fantastic game, a 102.5 QB rating, 2 touchdowns, no picks, one of his best performances of the season. Baker Mayfield, we've talked about how he has regressed, and there's no question. He was third in the MVP odds back in September. And I remember I said here on the video, third, fourth week of the season, that Baker was going to regress. And many of you in the comments, because I read the comments, I reply back, said, "You're crazy, Steve. Baker Mayfield is the greatest thing since sliced bread." Well, he has regressed, and the Buccaneers have really paid the price. They're just 1-7 straight up, 0-8 against the spread their last 8 games, yet they're laying points here. 1-7 straight up, 0-8 against the spread, yet they're laying 2.5 to 3 in this one. I like the total better, though. I think the over 43.5 to 44 is the way to play this game between two mediocre teams. And both teams, by the way, have below-average pass defenses. Tampa especially has had a below-average pass defense, and that the fact that Bryce Young played well against them a few weeks ago is an indication of that. I look for both passing offenses to get some points in this one, both defenses to struggle. And when they've stepped up in class this year against playoff caliber teams, and these are two playoff caliber teams, both defenses have been weaker than normal as well. Tampa's defense, by the way, one of the reasons they're 1-7 straight up their last 8, not just because Mayfield's been mediocre, but mainly because the defense has been so bad. Over the past 2 months, during basically that 1-7 slide, Tampa Bay's defense has given up over 27 points a game, over 6.5 yards of play, and nearly 8 yards per pass. And Carolina, meanwhile, over the last couple months, they've given up almost 7 yards per pass, just under 6 yards per play. Both defenses appear to be wearing down. I like the over 43.5, over 44 in the Carolina-Tampa game at 4:30 Eastern Saturday afternoon. All right, let's look at the other game. This is the big one. It's for the number 1 seed in the NFL playoffs in the NFC West title. Seattle at San Francisco. Let's talk about the scenario first, the playoff scenario in this one. Pretty clean cut for Seattle. If they win, they get the number 1 seed in the NFC. If they lose, they get the number 5 seed. It's one or the other. San Francisco, it's kind of the same, but a little different. I'll explain why. San Francisco wins. They get the number 1 seed. In fact, they never leave this stadium the rest of the season. They get home field, plus the Super Bowl is being played here in February. Now, if the 49ers lose, they either fall to the 5th or 6th seed. And once again, it's more likely that they fall to the 6th seed. And the reason being is because the only way they get the 5 seed is if San Francisco loses. If Seattle loses, they're the 5 seed. But if San Francisco loses, they're the 5 seed only if the Rams lose at home against Arizona on Sunday. That line, the look-ahead line, is going to be LA by 14. Now it's like 7 because the Rams might not have anything to play for if the 49ers win. But as a 1.5 point dog, 49ers only have about a 46% chance of winning this game against Seattle. Seattle has a 54% chance, is about a 1.5 point road favorite, which means that Rams game could very well have some meaning against Arizona. And the 49ers actually right now have about a 39% chance of being the 6th seed, only a 15% chance of being the 5 seed. The Rams, by the way, can only be a 5 or 6 seed. The Packers have locked up the 7 seed. They will play the number 1 seed. Rams, meanwhile, if they get the 5th seed, we get to play the Panthers or Buccaneers on the road. Otherwise, as the 6th seed, they play either the Bears or the Eagles. So the 49ers obviously wanted to win the division, but teams also have an incentive to be that 5 seed, as they're going to have a much easier first-round matchup next week on the road at either Tampa or Carolina. All right, with that said, it doesn't really matter because both these teams are obviously playing to win the division title, but I thought the scenario was interesting. Rematch here once again, of course, because it's a divisional game. We have to go all the way back to week 1, way back to early September. Whew, where were you 3 months ago? 4 months ago, right? No, it's been 4 months almost. My goodness. And I do think we could still take something from that game, although you got to be careful with week 1 results. You know, the Carolina game was just 2 games ago against Tampa. This game was, 16 games ago. It was week 1. Now we're in week 18, 17 weeks ago. And Seattle did lose that game barely at home. 49ers outplayed them, though. And if you look at the overall box score in that game, pretty substantial. 49ers had a 24-14 first down edge, 384 to 230 net yard edge, 5.5 yards per play to 4.5 yards per play, and the big passing edge, 7.5 yards per pass to just 6. Sam Darnold, who's had a good season overall, was outplayed by Brock Purdy in that game. And overall, Darnold, who's been playing well this season, has been pretty mediocre the last 2 or 3 games. If you look at his QB rating, he had an 87.2 in that game against San Fran. Purdy had a 92.2. Keep in mind also, the 49ers are now 7-1 straight up this year with Brock Purdy under center. With Mac Jones, they were serviceable. In fact, Jones's numbers this year not much weaker than Purdy's. Mac Jones, who played in 11 games this year, 7.5 yards a pass, 97 rating. Purdy, who's played in 8 games this season overall, 8 yards a pass, 104 QB rating. So he is the better quarterback, but it hasn't been a huge difference. But the 49ers have been an excellent team with Brock Purdy back and healthy. Both these squads have won 6 straight, yet the 49ers are a home dog. Why? Because I do think Seattle's the better team. And while the 49ers outplayed them in week 1, Seahawks have gotten better here down the stretch, and I think they have the defensive edge in this game. In fact, statistically, they do. They give up just 18 points a game. San Fran gives up 22.5. Big difference in this one, though, is the pass defense. That's what jumps off the page to me. Seattle gives up just 5.5 yards per pass this year. 49ers are giving up almost 7 yards per pass. Seattle's also given up just 4.8 yards per play. 49ers are giving up 5.8 yards per play this season. So I do think Seattle's the better team. That's why they're favored. And guess what? Ding, ding, red flag alert. I know it's Saturday, but time to fade the public. The public is on San Francisco in this game. They're a public dog, slight one, but public dog. And a lot of the metrics I look at have San Fran winning the game outright. And of course, you know, with the current line of 1.5 Seattle, it's basically a straight up win situation. But the public is on San Francisco in this one. You know, I'd love to fade public dogs because we have a quality team. I think Seattle's the contrarian side in this one. I would lean towards the Seahawks minus the 1.5. And also like the over in this game. I talked about San Francisco's pass defense struggling, but their offense has been potent in recent weeks with Brock Purdy healthy. Over 47.5 makes a lot of sense. Total is 48 in other spots. However, Seattle's a strong defensive team, so if you want to just take the San Fran, or if you want to take that Seattle defense out of the equation, could just play Seattle team total up and over 23.5. Shop around, that's pretty much the consensus number now. Seahawks up and over 23.5 would make some sense. You recall last week in the Sunday night game, I mentioned Bears over, and I also mentioned the Bears team total over for that reason in your free play video, and neither team could stop each other. 80 points. In fact, it was only the second game in NFL history and with the two teams scored 10 straight touchdowns to start a game. It was 35-35. They had 49 points, some time left in the second quarter. So I am so concerned about the San Fran defense, but their offense has been potent. 26 points or more now in 4 straight games. In fact, they've scored 26 or more now in 7 of their last 8 games. So while Seattle is a strong defense, or the better defense here, not sure the Seahawks are going to slow down the Niners either. Keep in mind, when Seattle stepped up in class this year, that Rams game, 30 points going into overtime a few weeks ago, that Thursday night game. And of course, if you recall, part of that 14-3 prime record, I snuck it in again, prime. You knew I'd say it one more time. First time in 2026 that I get to say the NFL on prime, because we don't get any more until next season. But that Thursday night game, that was one of the 14-3 winners. 14 out of 17 winners was the over in that game. Soared over the 42. They had 60, I think, at the end of regulation. Ended up with 75 with overtime. They did struggle to stop the Rams, giving up over 550 yards of offense in that game. So I think the Niners can move the ball in this game. And if you look back at some other games this year, Seattle hasn't really been tested. They played a pretty weak schedule. So has San Francisco. I like both offenses in this game, up and over 47.5, 48. Or if you want to just play against the weaker D, which is San Fran, take the Seahawks team total over 23.5. That's your late game, 8 o'clock Eastern, Saturday night, also on ESPN and ABC. Hey, there you go. 2 playoff caliber games for you on Saturday. The NFL got it right. We also have a lot of Sunday games. By the way, I do have free play videos for some other Sunday games as well. Go look at that Lions and Bears game. Also the Chargers-Broncos game. I've got a 2-for-1 video coming up this weekend. Also, of course, your Sunday night game. I always give you your Sunday games free. Ravens and Steelers as well. Click subscribe. Click the bell. You will not miss out when those free play videos are posted. And you also will make sure you see my NFL Fade the Public video for this weekend. I just gave you one of the public plays. That's the San Francisco 49ers. I'll give you some other public plays for the Sunday card, and we'll discuss if we should play them or fade them. Fading the Public's been 60% this season. Public's done well the last couple weeks. We'll see if that continues here in the final week of the regular season. But click subscribe, click the bell. You'll never miss out on those other free NFL videos this weekend here on the channel. And of course, if you're liking the free play videos, all I truly ask is a quick thumbs up like. It takes 2 seconds to click the thumbs up like. 10 to 20,000 views for these videos each and every day. Click the thumbs up like. It's much appreciated. And tell a friend, refer a friend to WagerTalk TV here in the year 2026. We're so close to 250,000 subscribers here. I hope you're one of them. Click subscribe and click that bell. Also, comment below. I do read the comments and I reply back. Let me know your thoughts on these 2 NFL games Saturday. Sides, totals, player props. Like some over props, obviously, in both games. If I'm leaning over, what particular props would you play in these games on Saturday? Drop the analysis below. Include some analysis if you have time. Let's learn and earn and win together here on WagerTalk TV. Now, when I'm giving you free plays on every bowl game, all the college football playoff games, I'll have the semifinals and championship game next week as well. I gave you every bowl game this season for free. Most of the NFL games free every weekend. All the Spotlight TV games like these. Obviously, most of those are not best bets. In fact, very few of them are. I'm very selective. I have maybe 2 to 3 best bets per day on average for my clients, which means most of these are light TV leans. If you play them, 1% of bankroll is appropriate. But if you really want to build that bankroll, you need to be playing the strongest games. And those are my 4% personal best bets, 400% stronger than the light TV leans. And the only way to get those is to be a direct client at WagerTalk.com. And wanted to do something special for you here in the start of 2026. I know many of you make New Year's resolutions. Several of you have already gotten the annual package, and I do appreciate that. And that's the best way to do it, by the way. The 1-year all access works out to just over $1 a play for every college and pro football, basketball, and baseball best bet for 365 days a night. So if you're starting fresh here in 2026, the 1-year all access is the way to go. But I realize some of you are new. Some of you are still building your bankroll. That's why we offer 1 week, 1 month samplers. But I even wanted to give you something better here. How about a 3-day all access for just $49? Think about this. The Weekend Warrior Saturday, Sunday football package is $49. A 3-day sampler for basketball is $49. However you cut it, you're getting both sports, college and pro hoops, college and pro football. You're getting everything for just $49 with the 3-day sampler. So basically, it's like buying basketball, getting football free, buying football, getting basketball free. However you want to phrase it to yourself, it's a great deal. But you got to have a promo code. Normally it's $69. $69, dude, normally for 3 days all access. It's just $49 right now through next Monday, through the weekend. I'll extend it into Monday as well, but obviously you want to get on board this weekend for this final weekend of the NFL. And by the way, if you're joining us on Friday, you can get all my Friday bowl plays as well, plus daily college and pro basketball each and every day. NBA, by the way, hit 65% of the month of December. Fantastic month of basketball in December. We're going to really start cranking up the college basketball here in January now that conference action is about to begin. And, of course, we still have college football. I've got 3 strong bowl best bets, by the way, for Friday, January 2nd, if you're joining us early in this video, and then a strong NFL card this weekend. But you got to have a promo code to get that $69 3-day sampler down to $49, and it's 3, the word 349. THREE 49. 349. One word, 3, and then the numbers 49, because you're getting 3 days of all access for just $49. Full details, including that promo code, are written out on my page. And don't forget about the daily free play. You know, the last cut for my best bet card goes up as a bonus free play on my page every day, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. It's just a bit outside from making the best bet card because, as I said earlier, I'm selective. 2 to 3 strong best bets a day. That last cut is a big, strong opinion still, and you don't want to miss it. I put it up free for everybody who's out there building their bankroll, doing their own handicapping. So go to my page every day in 2026. That's a great New Year's resolution right there. And get the bonus free play every day on my page, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. But while you're there, check out the best bets. Go to the bottom of the page. You can see the last 20 recapped each and every day, a rolling recap, win or lose. My best bets are recapped at the bottom, full transparency. You can click on them to read the analysis afterwards, to learn and earn how I do things with my best bets. But most importantly, use that promo code to try out a 3-day sampler, all sports, college and pro football and basketball combined, for just $49. 349 THREE 49 gets it done. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, and of course, get there quicker with shortcut WT.buzz/SM. On the way out, don't forget to follow me on social media on X and Instagram at Steve Merril, 2 R's, 1 L. You know the deal. MERRIL at Steve Merril on X and Instagram. And stay tuned here to WagerTalk TV because you also know there's more free play videos coming up next.